So we're going to start by clicking our Aviation Statistics BISM data source. So if I just click on that, that will launch me into a blank PowerView report that I'll build from there. So this report I'm actually going to use to decide how do I get to New York. This is an exercise that I do frequently as I travel. You might as well. I'm going to begin by applying filters to the entire view. I know which airport I'm going to be leaving from. For me, that's Detroit, which is DTW. And I know where I'm going. So I don't know exactly which airport I want to go to, but I know I want to go to New York State. Actually, I want to go to New York City, but that's not in my data model. So I'll choose New York State. And to narrow that down to the city a little bit better, I'm going to choose a hub size, large, because I know the large hub sizes are around New York City. So these are filters that will apply to anything that I put on the view, and everything will be limited by them, and that's what I want. So the first thing that I'm going to decide is when I'm going to go to New York. And what I want to do is minimize the possibility of delays. I want the least amount of delay in my trip. So I have an attribute called month string that I'll select here, and that has the month and year. And if I go down to my historical flights, my model right now has 2 years in it, 2010 and 2011. And if I go find my on-time flight percent, which I'll be working with a lot, I'll get that for the last 2 years. Now this is not the way I want it. What I really want is a line chart. So I'm going to just click on line here, change it into a line chart, and then I'll put it down right there. And this represents the overall, all airlines, all flights, on-time flight percent by month over the last 2 years. And I can see it's actually been in an uptrend. So that's good. That's great. So here in 2012, the year I'm recording this, I got a pretty good chance of getting a flight that's more on time. But still 70%, 60%, not that impressive. So I wonder if I fly a certain day of the week, I'll have better luck. And I do have a attribute for that. So I'm going to drag out here the day of week as a string. And again, I'll go find my on-time flight percent, add that to the chart. And I think this time a column chart would work really well. So that shows me by day of the week what's the best day to fly. So I can already see I'm in pretty good shape, but I want to sort this by on-time flight percent descending, and that tells me that Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, those are the 3 best days of the week to travel. As I click on these bars, you can see this line chart is changing because PowerView will automatically cross-filter between charts. So if you click on a chart, you will get a filter of that. So over time, Saturdays have been getting a lot better. Thursdays have stayed fairly bad for the entire 2 years. Wednesdays, not so good. Tuesdays, a little bit better. But clearly the weekend is the time to go. I'm not sure I want to go on a weekend, though. So I've established I'm probably flying on the weekend or on a Tuesday. Let's see what carrier we might want to take. And I'm going to drag the carrier name over here. And again, I'll use my on-time flight percent as my primary driver here. So I can see my breakdown of on-time flight percent by carrier on Saturdays. So let's see, where are we going to be going? So let me click on my list on the top. I'm going to drag in my destination airport. I'm going to put that on the top. And if I sort by the on-time flight percent, it looks like I'm going to be flying into LaGuardia, either on American Eagle or Delta. And let's narrow that down some more and look at what flight number we might want to take. And how about the average time that flight's been leaving? So if I take a kind of step back and just see what I've got here, you notice if I click on my days, not only am I getting my trend of on-time flight percent on those days, which tells me that even though Tuesday is a pretty good day to fly, it's not so good if I'm flying in September or April or January, but most of the months are pretty good. But if I wanted to fly on that, say, Tuesday, these would be the best flights to take. So there's a quick example of using PowerView for some kind of personal data exploration. We were able to knock together that analysis pretty quickly and make some pretty decent decisions on the month, the day, destination airport, and which even flights and times that we might want to choose to get to New York in order to minimize our flight delays.